Okay, so I don't know exactly what all I want to say in this video, but I have my emotional support Pooh Bear, uh, and we're gonna talk about it. First off, if you've never watched any of my videos, welcome. I tend to do very not consistent postings, and then when I do post, it's probably like a 30-minute video. But I tend to do vlogs or just chats about life, particularly mental health. It used to be about teaching, but as this video is going to show, and as you can scroll down a little bit further, about a year ago in my videos, you'll find that I left teaching. And if you are returning, hello Reese. If you are returning and you know me in real life or whatever it may be, I'm glad you're back. I hope this video finds you in a good place. But yeah, let's jump into this. So it's been a year. And I don't mean that in a, it's been a tough year or whatever. Like, time-wise, it's been a year since I was forced to resign from my teaching position. I thought that perhaps back to school time last year would affect me, because June 1st was the day I was forced to resign from my position at a charter school. And if you want more information about why that happened, there's a video titled Why I'm Leaving, and that kind of goes more into depth. He's going to be my emotional support dog. That kind of goes more into depth, and I won't get into it in this one because I've talked about it. But it's been a year since that happened, and in 12 months there has been a lot of things that have occurred. A lot of feelings I've worked through and am still working through. Some days it feels like it's been forever since I've stepped foot in a classroom, and other days it feels like it was just yesterday that I was leaving my keys on my desk and taking all of my things. I would say the first couple months were probably the worst. To be completely honest with you, I don't necessarily remember last summer. I think I was pretty deep in a dark place because I was angry and upset and very frustrated because I couldn't understand why that had happened. And I still, I still have my moments where I'm angry, and I still have a lot of bitterness that I have yet to work completely through, but I guess that is to be expected. I have been through stages of grief, and I know that anyone who has left the classroom can empathize with that. However, I definitely experienced it a little bit differently than people who chose to leave. That was the difference that I've come to kind of been able to pinpoint, that my leaving was different than me deciding, that at the end of the year I was going to be gone. I was blindsided by mine. June 1st of last year, I went in that day, feeling ready for summer, feeling like I was ready for a break, getting everything together, starting to sort of plan for next year, but more or less just, being ready to relax. And I spent a half day with my kids because they left, at 12 that day. And I got to enjoy the last, half day with them, and knowing that I was sending them off to third grade, and knowing that, this was the last day with them. Obviously, always the last day of school was bittersweet for me. And then I was told that I would need to have a meeting with my principal about 30-40 minutes after the kids had left. And by 1:30, June 1st last year, everything I thought that was secure and steady in my life was ripped out from under me. I felt like the rug had been pulled out from under me. Something that I thought I would never leave. A profession that I never imagined I would ever get out of was taken away from me. And there were a lot of days, still there are some days where I feel like I'm not done in the classroom. But then there are other days where I know how much healthier I am mentally and emotionally. I know how much healthier my relationship with Mark is, with my family, with my friends. And I can't imagine going back into a place that's going to backtrack me to where I was a year ago. A lot of people have asked me, do I think I'll go back? And I can't give a yes or no answer to that, truly, because I don't know. I don't know if I'll go back. So it's hard for me to say yes, it's hard for me to say no, because as I said, I do feel like I wasn't finished. I do feel like there was things that I didn't get to accomplish, and I wasn't done. I wasn't done because I didn't choose to walk away. I was forced to walk away. But then, like I said, there's other days where the thought of going back into that environment stresses me out. I think I basically just kind of wanted to put out there into the universe, into the ether, if anyone even watches this, that it is all going to get better. And I know that is the most cliche thing that anybody can say. And I know that you probably have heard it over and over and over. But it really is going to get better. You are going to make it to the other side of this. Whatever it is in your life that has come, whether planned or unplanned, you are going to make it to the other side. If you would have asked me the day that it happened, or even 2 weeks later, 3 weeks later, 2 months later, if I thought I was going to make it, I probably would have told you no. Even though I am a very strong person, and I've learned that about myself, and I'm a very strong-willed person, I did not believe I was going to make it out of that. I've never felt so hopeless and so useless in my entire life than in those months following my resignation. It was literally everything that I thought that I was doing good. I was standing up for mental health. I was being an advocate. I was doing all these things. And because of that, because of me doing this right here, I was forced out of a job, out of a career that I loved. But as I said, while you do not feel like it in that moment, And you probably won't feel like that for a while. You are going to get to the other side of it. Because I can promise you that looking at it now, looking at what happened to me a year ago, even though I still have my anger and my bitterness that I still work through, there are still days where I wake up and I am mad that I don't get to go and teach kids. There are days where I open a box of stuff that was packed away from my classroom and I cry and I have to close the box and I can't look at it. You are going to make it. I can say, now that I have been away from it and I have processed it and still processing it, that what happened to me a year ago is probably one of the best things that has ever happened to me. And I know that sounds so like hypocritical of what I just said, but I've been able to look at things from an outside perspective, and I see the problems that I kept just making excuses for. So things that were going on that I thought, we shouldn't be doing this, or things that I was like, this doesn't feel right, this doesn't seem right, you know, this isn't best practices for the kids, this isn't best practices for our school, this isn't best practices for teaching. But I made excuses for it, because the last thing you want to do is be a little too loud and not necessarily just go along and agree with things. Because from personal experience, when you're loud and you don't play the games that you're expected to play, they will get rid of you. But I can say that I am healthier and happier away from that place than I ever thought I would be able to say. If you asked me a year ago, I'd have told you, no, I want to be here. Even when in the middle of that meeting, I remember crying and asking, okay, in a year's time, can I come and try to apply again? Because I thought that's what I needed to do. I thought that that was the place that I was going to end up staying for the rest of my career. I generally believed that that's where I was supposed to be. And now it's been a year, and the thought of going back to work there, no way. You couldn't pay me enough. You couldn't pay me enough. I've been working through, going through stuff from my room because it was such chaos just trying to pack everything up into boxes and basically just getting it out. And I've been working through keeping and selling things because there's just some things that I can't let go of yet. Because I don't know if I'm ever going to go back into a classroom. Like I opened the box. I bought a random box yesterday. I'm trying to like label things because nothing was labeled. It was all just tossed together. And I pulled out my Elf on the Shelf. And it's like, am I ever going to use this? I don't know. If I'm in a classroom, absolutely. But what if I never go back to a classroom? I don't know. So it's one of those things where like I still don't necessarily know, but I do know that where I am right now, I am happy. And I've had people tell me that I look happy and I look good, and that means a lot. So if you are one of those people that has said that over this past year, I really appreciate that. Like, I hope you know how much that has meant to me, and I've carried that with me every day, the hard days, the good days, all of it. Because there were some days where I did not feel good. There were days where I did not feel like I was ever going to get to the other side of this. And you know, even sitting here right now, I've still got some things I've got to work on. But I appreciate that people notice that about me. Because I generally do feel better. You know, I have a different type of job now that I never would have ever thought I'd be doing. But but I'm working in a library. Like, I always wanted to work in a library. Always. And it just never worked out. Like, as like a part-time thing. That's what I wanted to do. And it just never worked out. And it's like, I'm getting to do what my little, like, 15-year-old self wanted to do for years. And I'm doing it. And I'm working in a library. And I'm interacting with people. And I'm getting to recommend books. Like, that's what I do, is I catalog books into our system, into our catalog, and I get to recommend books for either us to add or for patrons that come in, and it is just such a cool thing that I never thought I'd be here, because I always thought I'd be in a classroom. And maybe this is where God wants me. I don't know. I don't know if he's wanting me in the library forever. I don't know if he's got a classroom out there somewhere for me that I'm going to go back into. I don't know, and I can't answer that. All I know is I can say where I am right now is a good place. And I want you to know that while some days are going to be hard, and you can get you an emotional support stuffed animal. I have many. But there are going to be good days too. And there's going to be days where you feel like the strongest person because you overcame whatever that roadblock was, whatever that stepping stone was. But then, like I said, there's going to be days where you feel like you're the most useless human being in the entire world. And those are the days where that's where your support system comes in, and that's where your friends and your family come in. Because there's going to be days where you're not going to be able to give 100%. There's going to be days where you're going to be able to give about 5%. And that's where the other people in your life, that's where you surround yourself with people who, instead of putting you down for not being able to get over things, they're going to say, hey, it's okay. Let me give this other 95% today. You give your 5%. You give your 1%. I got the rest of it. I got the 99%. I hope you find those people. I truly do. Because that makes a world of difference. But just know that, yes, while I can sit here and say that I am better, I'm still not healed completely. But you will get to the other side of it. You will. I still feel like there's another side to me. There's another side for me to get past. And one day I'll be able to not have bitterness and anger. One day. Today is not that day. But one day I will. But just know that you're gonna get over the other side of it. You're gonna get over the hill. You're gonna get in the valley. And you're gonna do it. May not feel like it today, but you're gonna do it. So, if you would have asked me a year ago for me to describe where I am now, none of this would have been what came out of my mouth. If you're to ask me right now, what do I think I'm going to be doing in a year? I can't even really answer that question. All I can say is that I hope in a year from now, I will feel happy still, or even happier than I am. That I will feel accomplished, and that I am where I'm supposed to be. So I hope that you all are in a good place, and if you're not, please know you're going to get through it. I got through it. Even when I didn't feel like I was going to. But looking back now, I made it. I made it through it. It's been a long year. It's been a tough year. But it's been a year of growth. And a year of acceptance. And I'm proud of who I am. And I'm proud of the person that I've become on the other side of it. So, hopefully this gives you something, some kind of encouragement. Even if it's just to remind you you're not by yourself, because you're not. You're not by yourself. But Get you an emotional support stuffed animal. Hug it very tight. Get you some wonderful friends and family. And if you don't have great blood family, find you some friends that become family. Just because remember, just because they're blood doesn't mean they're great people. But yeah, get you an emotional support plushie. Go out there, kick ass. Excuse my French, but go out there, kick butt, take names, and you just keep it on. Even on those days where you're giving 5%, you give that 5% to the best of your ability. And then the next day you get up and you do it again. And know that I am so proud of you. I'm proud of myself, but I'm proud of you. Because some days it's hard. Life is hard. But you can do it. So I'll see you guys later.